All the food, furniture, and other essential items I had ordered finally arrived. At that point, there was only one day left before the rain apocalypse was set to begin. I had used our old village house as the delivery address. That village had been abandoned a long time ago, and nobody lived there anymore. I filled that house with the furniture, electrical appliances, food, and various other necessities. Then, making sure no one was around, I used my shrinking system to miniaturize everything and packed it all into boxes I had prepared beforehand. Finally, after giving it a little thought, I even shrank our old little village house and took it with me. Even though it was old, it was going to be incredibly useful later on after a few minor repairs. When night fell, I took everything back to the city and carefully stored it all inside my secret room. During these days, my brother was practically vibrating with excitement. He was absolutely convinced that he was fully prepared for everything, so he paid zero attention to what I was doing. I had already installed an air filtration system in my secret room. Because of this, I had no worries about running out of oxygen, even if I stayed inside for several years. I specifically chose not to shrink 5 large water bottles. Instead, I poured their contents into a miniature tank so that it could serve as my long-term water source. The room was also equipped with lights, and I could control the switches directly from my phone. After working tirelessly through the entire night, my secret room had completely transformed. Inside my hidden sanctuary, there was now a fully functional miniature farm. The incredibly faint chirping of tiny chicks could barely be heard as they bent down to search for bugs in the grass. Just outside the farm area sat my little house, fully stocked with every kind of home appliance imaginable. Finally, completely at ease, I could simply wait for the rain apocalypse to begin. With only half a day left, my brother headed over to Isolde's house once again. It was painfully obvious that her family didn't like him at all, but he couldn't have cared less about their opinions. He walked straight into Isolde's room. Just then, Isolde's parents started whispering to each other. They complained that the boy from across the hall was completely shameless, always barging into their daughter's room every single day despite his age. Another woman chimed in, joking that it looked like they were going to get a son-in-law very soon. Hearing this, Isolde's mother let out a mocking laugh. A son-in-law? She scoffed, pointing out that he couldn't even get into a college. He was over 20 years old, yet he didn't have to... Regardless, I only called him so he would truly believe I had left the house. After hanging up, I used my phone to unlock the door to the secret room, stepped inside, and sealed it shut behind me. Then, I activated the shrinking system one more time. But this time, I didn't use it on any object. I used it on myself. For a brief moment, I felt incredibly dizzy. And then out over the green land, the trees, the tiny farm, and the little house right in front of me. With all my preparations finally complete, I slipped my phone into my pocket, hoisted it all onto my shoulder, and walked over to my plot of land. The only connections to the outside world were I assumed I had simply been swept away by the floods and died. During these days, I spent my time in my miniature farm. Sighing deeply, Isolde replied that they had very little left, wishing she had stocked up on more supplies earlier. She lamented that the water had already flooded up to eyes. Isolde's eyes lit up with pure greed. Thrilled, she praised him and begged him to enlarge all the food in her house as well. My brother agreed, but added that he had one small request. Smiling sweetly, Isolde told him to go ahead and ask. Blushing, my brother mumbled that she already knew he liked her. He asked if she could finally love him back, now that he was capable of saving her entire family. Laughing, Isolde replied, asking why he was saying such silly things.
Gagi, ako mag-inom carry lagi.
Full indifference,
Jakiro
saying
na
I claimed I
carry.
was doing overtime.
Kabuang.
He casually added that since it had been raining for so many days, I had probably drowned.
Money and bones, money
I was
and
perfectly
bones.
safe here in my secret room, and absolutely no one knew about my hiding spot. All I wanted was to live peacefully. I uploaded the post. My brother immediately commented, asking where I was. But a simple comment wasn't enough. He bombarded me with messages, frantically typing about how heavy the rain was and asking if I was okay. He demanded to know my location, complaining that he wanted to tell me where I was, claiming he couldn't go outside and demanding that I bring him some food. I didn't reply to a single one of his frantic messages. Instead, I just took a picture of the cold drink I was sipping on, sent it directly to him, and captioned it by saying that the drink was delicious and the hot pot was still perfectly piping hot. Seeing that, he called me instantly. His voice was laced with panic as he asked how I was eating hot pot, begging me to bring him some. He whined that he had been surviving on nothing but dry bread for days. I replied in a calm, flat tone, lying that I was still at the company and that they had provided the hot pot. I told him the rain outside was too heavy for me to come back and advised him to just eat whatever was left in the house. He immediately protested, crying that the bread at home was awful and he desperately wanted hot pot. He tried to say something else, but I hung up the phone without uttering another word. I switched back to the live camera feed and watched as my brother glared at his phone in seething rage. Every trace of the innocent, obedient younger brother had completely vanished from his face. It genuinely couldn't have been easy for him to keep up that fake act for so many years. Feeling completely relaxed, I picked up my tablet and started watching a show. I had already downloaded hundreds of novels and who my brother was, exclaiming that they would never face a food shortage again. They boasted that they had truly hit the jackpot. It was painfully obvious. They gushed that, without it, the family were far better than people. Ever since they received that massive demolition payout, they had walked around the village with their noses stuck up in the air. Heartlessly turned him away. I never believed for a second that people like him would ever maintain a genuine, loyal relationship with my brother. Right at that moment, the chicks in my farm, which had grown a bit larger by now, started loudly chirping and fighting each other over food. Hearing the noise, my brother abruptly stopped and asked why he could hear chickens in the background. I bluntly told him it was because I was feeding him. Astonished, he demanded to know how on earth I had gotten my hands on live chickens during such torrential rain. I didn't bother giving him a straight answer. Besides, I had already bought a massive stockpile of meat and crammed it into my freezer, securing enough food to last me for an incredibly long time. Growing frantic, my brother demanded to know where I really was. He pointed out that I was eating hot pot and raising chickens, asking if the rain hadn't affected my location at all. I simply replied that no, the rain hadn't affected me in the slightest. Hearing that, he excitedly ordered me to tell him where I was, declaring that he was going to bring Isolde and her entire family over to stay with me. I laughed and told him that if he could find me, he was welcome to try. Furious, he asked what I had ready-to-eat meals, including pizzas, steamed buns, dumplings, and various other frozen foods. I turned on the fan and pulled a piping hot pizza out of the microwave. Reheated to perfection, the pizza looked golden, soft, and incredibly mouthwatering, with long, gooey luxury pizzas. He noted enviously how delicious the pizza looked with its stretchy cheese, but then quickly pivoted to arrogance. He claimed that no matter how much food I ate, it would eventually run out because my shrinking system was totally useless. He bragged that his enlarging system could multiply all my food 100 times over, allowing us to eat comfortably for years. He demanded my location again, saying he was coming over immediately. I simply replied, "Come over, if you can find me." After sending that, I opened the camera app again. My brother was in my bed, violently smashing and destroying everything in a blind rage. It wasn't long before the secret of his enlarging system spread rapidly throughout the entire residential complex. Guessing who had leaked the information wasn't difficult in the slightest. People started pounding on his door constantly. Residents from all over the complex began showing up with whatever meager food they had left, desperately begging him to use his system to magnify their supplies 100-fold. At first, my brother panicked and tried to pay a steep fee. Initially, they ruthlessly charged $2,000 upfront. Starvation would never be a threat, but they were all completely ignoring one massive fatal. The system could only magnify food. It couldn't create it from thin air. You had to have food to begin with, and the system's power could only be applied to a specific item exactly one time. You couldn't just eat half a piece of bread and then infinitely enlarge the remaining half over and over again. Just like that, 3 entire years passed. Over those 3 years, not a single person in the complex died of starvation because they were entirely reliant on my brother's system. Slowly, everyone discarded all their caution and began consuming their supplies recklessly without a second thought. But right at the end of the 3rd year, the real crisis finally struck. The original food reserves in every single household were almost completely depleted. Now, even after being magnified, there simply wasn't enough food left to sustain everyone. Resources had dwindled to critical levels, and the enlarging system was no longer the miracle cure it used to be. Absolute chaos erupted throughout the complex. People started violently fighting each other over scraps of food, with brutal brawls and riots breaking out on the day, eating their rapidly vanishing food, and had become nothing more than an entire family forcefully shoved him out. But by that time, I saw these family had already completely stripped my place bare. Every single scrap of food my brother reported was now mine. And what was I doing during all this?
Money and bones, money and bones.
Best life
Money
saved
and
nature.
bones.
Whenever I got hungry, I would harvest fresh vegetables from the field, thaw out some premium meat, and cook up a delicious feast. If I felt lazy and didn't want to cook, I simply grabbed a ready-to-eat meal from the fridge and heated it up. In my ample free time, I enjoyed making myself perfectly chilled drinks. Every morning, the first thing I did after waking up was feed my chicks. Then I would make my breakfast before taking a stroll through my farm to inspect the thriving green vegetables. potatoes, eggplants, tomatoes, corn, and all my other crops. If I felt drowsy in the afternoon, I took a peaceful nap. After waking up, I spent the rest of the day in inconveniences. After not hearing from me for such a long time, my brother finally worked up the nerve to call me once again. He had likely assumed I was long dead, but completely contrary to his expectations, I actually answered the phone. Utterly shocked, he stammered that he couldn't believe I was still alive, saying it was a miracle because he thought the floods had killed me. At that exact moment, I was casually munching on a fresh cucumber while watching a show on my TV. The crisp, loud, crunchy sounds of my chewing echoed clearly over the room. He whined that her whole family was incredibly selfish, asking how I could possibly watch my one and only younger brother die. In a voice devoid of any warmth, I simply replied that no, I couldn't care less. He screamed at the top of his lungs, accusing me of having no one. He yelled that the older brother he used to know was never the same. He dignified his unhinged reply. So perfect that you would never guess it that a 3-year-long apocalypse was ravaging the outside this time around. I knew perfectly well that the apocalypse was coming, yet he never bothered to warn me either. I coldly asked him who exactly gave him the right to call me selfish now. My brother had always treated my endless sacrifices as his undisputed birthright. It never excused that he was my only younger brother, through the apartment like a rabid animal, violently smashing me. She had stolen the bread directly from my Salty's house. Her entire family had apparently gone out scavenging, leaving only her 6-year-old little brother at home. Discovered their food was gone, they exploded with pure, unadulterated fury. They charged across the hall, furiously kicked, claiming she had made a terrible but I saw they kept relentlessly apologizing. The second he unlocked and opened the door, absolute scum for daring to steal the system. But it was now completely and utterly useless to him, because he didn't have a single grain of food left. It would have completely shattered my heart, and I would have desperately wished to take. But a few heavy slaps across the face quickly broke him, forcing him to comply. Eventually, the final day of his miserable life arrived. He dragged his broken, starving body across the hallway until he reached Isolde's door. There, his head slumped to the side, and he breathed his very last breath. When Isolde opened her door and found his lifeless corpse, she looked at it with pure revulsion. Isolde's entire family lived their own gruesome. They were already notoriously despised throughout the complex, and the fact that they had ruthlessly exploited my brother's system to extort everyone only fueled the hatred against them. Screaming for them to hand over all their supplies. But Isolde and her greedy family arrogantly refused, foolishly choosing to ash to the floor. The savage mob poured into a graveyard of destruction. Meanwhile, I was safely tucked away in my miniature farm, happily eating, drinking, and thoroughly enjoying my peaceful life. I was living so comfortably that I had even managed to gain over 10 pounds. Eventually, the day I had been waiting for all these years finally arrived. A notification flashed on my phone, confirming that the apocalyptic rain had completely stopped. For the first time in years, the sun finally pierced through the thick, suffocating black clouds, casting its golden rays across the earth and bringing the brilliant looked like delicate little toys. I glanced around at my roomy, full-sized apartment and was left completely stunned. Only my body had returned to its natural proportions. The farm, the little house, and every single object I had shrunk were still permanently locked in their miniature state. It seemed that the fundamental rules governing the enlarging and shrinking systems were entirely different after all. Then again, completely understanding something as deeply mysterious as these systems was never going to be easy. I walked over to the floor-to-ceiling window and gazed outside. One by one, the haggard survivors who had barely escaped death were finally stepping out of their homes after so many long, agonizing years. And with that, friends, our story for today comes to a close.
Hi, Stan. My name is Stan. Welcome to the world of Backdrop. So, as you guys know, last week I came to New York to surprise my boyfriend for his birthday. Thank you so much to his sisters, Kidjo and Well, for helping me surprise him. I've been in New York for about 2 weeks now, and I'm spending a lot of time with him and his family, and we're doing so much fun. As you guys can see, it's past midnight, and we're here doing live blitz. But yeah, in this video, we're just gonna hang out, and I'm gonna show you guys the behind the scenes of my life in New York. Let's go! Oh my god! Oh my god! First, American sugar. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day. Recently, our favorite activity has literally just been lying on the couch and just cuddling and watching K-pop videos. And that's what we've been doing all morning. It's currently 2 p.m. We actually met later in Wisconsin for close to it, and it's like this fairy party. It's our first time going to an event together, so let's see how it goes.
In this world, everyone can awaken a beast form. But when their spirit goes berserk, they become monsters. When their spirit power breaks, the beast takes over.
Only powerful healing beast work can bring them back.
In this world, weakness is the ultimate sin. But she is different. To them, she was home.
Wait, what was that? A dream or a memory?
You're F rank, Alice. You can't soothe me. Your sister can. So she will be my wife.
Don't blame me. A female who can't seriously mate is useless. Ivan chose me, and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad said this mansion was meant to be your wedding, but even broke the bond, so you don't get to stay. Take the key to the old house and get out.
The enemy's top tower has fallen. The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
My son would never bite anyone! You're just a bad teacher!
Wait, wasn't I just dealing with another kid biting incident at preschool? How did I end up in a beast world? And as a useless X-ray female? System fairy. Extreme resentment detected. The Beast God Care System is now activated. Complete care missions to earn rewards and build a farm. Would you like to claim your starter pack? I knew the system wouldn't leave me hanging. Activate it! Right now! Starter pack delivered. 10 bottles of spirit milk. Beginner Quest 1. Welcome one new beastling within 3 days. Complete the quest to claim your rewards. Quest rewards include a body enhancement potion. Facility rewards. 1 earth fountain and 1 sword slot. Additional facilities. 1 earth sandbox and 1 wisdom. Care missions? Beastlings? So basically a preschool for little beasts? That's right up my alley. Easy win. Fluffy paradise. Here I come. Good morning! Good morning! Alice's Beast Care Haven is now open for enrollment.
Hey, that rabbit female's F-rank spirit power is weaker than a newborn rat power's. Isn't it obvious? What kind of parent would be crazy enough to send their kid here?
In the beast world, weakness really is the ultimate goal. With my rock bottom F-rank spirit power, there's no way I'm getting a single student.
Grabe honey niya makadang support eh.
Oh, Tiger. In this world, cubs who can't shift into human form run away like they're just defective.
Middle tower
Looks
has
like you're just like
fallen.
me. Before you become guaranteed. How about you come with me? I'll take care of you. Promise.
His spirit power went berserk on the battlefield, and now he's back in beast form with the mind of a cub. If the corrupted beasts find him first, we're screwed. Alice's beast K.
No matter how awful things get, fluff. Hungry for that? Slow down, little guy. No one's gonna take it from you. Weird, who's showing up right now? Wait, did somebody actually see my sign?
I changed back.
Did you miss me already? It's only been 1 hour. Weird. Who's showing up right now? Wait, did somebody actually see my sign? Oh my god, that face, that lips, that body, and that tail? Where did this absolute body come from?
You, my uncle. Someone sabotaged my uncle's spirit power treatment on the battlefield. That's why he's not preserving his word gets out of the tiger claw.
Welcome to Alice's preschool. I'm Alice, the director.
My uncle's scent trail is off right now. She has it.
Enemy's middle tower has fallen.
Hey! Rude much? I didn't even invite you in.
Rude much. Sa mukha sa'yo ko ano.
Greg, I know you whatever it takes, make sure I stay with you.
Uncle David. He's out of it again. Shall we? No, that's impossible. Uncle's spirit beast was completely shattered. Even the Tiger Clan elder begged the SS. She said he had zero chance.
Wait, did this podcast call that thing club uncle? Am I hearing things or is he crazy?
Did my nephew do anything while he was here?
Oh, he's your nephew. Oh, not really. Unless chugging a bottle of milk counts.
It's the legendary S-Ray. Even an SS-Ray powerhouse would take ages to come down. Just pulled out of thin air like it was nothing.
No wonder. This email somewhere, bro. No wonder he stepped out of it for a second. There was a whole bottle of high-grade spirit nutrients. That's why he told me to keep him here no matter what.
Did you just say you're the director of this Beast Care Haven?
Yep.
That's perfect. Please, let my nephew join your care haven. Whatever it costs, we'll pay.
Congratulations, host. Beginner mission 1 complete. He is hot and nice.
He's not even mad I took him his nephew. He's enrolling him.
Beginner mission 2 released. Welcome 3 new beasts within 7 days. Complete the mission to claim your rewards.
Don't worry, little guy. From now on, 10 bottles a day. Every single day.
10 bottles of S-Rank crystal a day? Even the royals aren't this extravagant. Who is this female?
Director Alice. From now on, the Tiger Clan is yours to command.
My uncle is the Tiger Clan's war god. If she can heal it, even the clan will become one person and swear loyalty to her.
Oh, wow, no need to be that dramatic. I mean, dear guardian, if you really want to help, could you recommend 3 more new beastlings? The more little ones we have, the more fun they'll have, right?
No problem, Dear Alice. I'll bring them here within 3 days.
I could take on 100 of these guys right now. As for the Care Haven decor, just place it wherever it looks good in the yard.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Remember what I told you? Director Alice runs a Beast Care Haven. And the fewer people who know about our elders' damaged spirit power, the better. So today, the ones we brought are all our younger relatives.
Director Alice! We're here! I brought them!
A white tiger, a little wolf, a tiny bear, and a little dragon. Oh my god, is this fluffy heaven? Hi everyone, I'm Miss Alice, director of Alice Beast Care Haven. Welcome. We're running an enrollment special right now. Only 10,000 star points for a whole year. Total bargain, no regrets. Yes, Rabbit Clan.
What's your spirit power rank?
Alice, are you really all here? Oh, Alice, I know you're upset about awakening as a double F. Getting dumped by the lion king, being abandoned by otherwise, I wouldn't know she's
F rank? You're joking, right, little female? Our younger relatives. Ordinary beasts. If their spirit power goes berserk, they choose to battle Great. You told me David got better. That's the only reason I'm here. But how is an F-rank being supposed to help my little brother recover? Let's go.
Yes, I know my spirit power is impressive right now. And I know you don't trust me.
But what little beastlings need most isn't always raw power. They need a quiet, safe place where they can relax. If you leave your little ones with me, I promise they'll be well-fed, happy, and properly cared for every single day.
This idiot really thinks they're more ordinary little beastlings. She has no idea who they really are.
Alice, having weak spirit power is one thing. But did your brain stop working too?
There's
nothing left to
What do you
smash.
want now?
Atomic
Dragons, bears, and wolf clans are top-tier ancient beast clans.
Do you think they're short on food, comfort, or resources?
Never mention my boots again. Which girl?
Shabby
Why didn't it work?
yards, and if they go berserk, your pathetic express spirit power won't stop them.
Picture a big gate in a castle, right?
When that
have
happens,
to crank it open with a winch,
You'll
right?
have no
Yeah.
way.
What if you just smash the winch?
Alice, I get it. This
No, what do
whole
you mean?
thing is just
Oh,
you trying to get my attention.
can ever open the door
But we're not in the same league.
Wait.
Give it up.
Now here's your bit.
Shut up already!
Imagine that hypothetical begins
You've
the
been
entire
yapping
year.
non-stop.
And then
What is
imagine
this
that
contest to see who's bigger backstabber and shameless home wrecker? You